Grace is truly beyond human understanding, and we have history to tell us amazing stories that prove it. What's up, people of this weird planet called Earth? Welcome to episode 44 of HMIH podcast with yours truly, Planetary. On this episode, we are going to be talking briefly about an influential human known as Johannes Kepler. Kepler was born on the 27th of December 1571. Kepler almost died at an early age before he was even 5. He had smallpox, which literally killed most people who had it at the time. This left his eyesight damaged and his hand unable to properly function, but luckily he survived that. Johannes witnessed the Great Comet of 1577, which changed his life, and one day wanted to become an astronomer. Something I also wanted to become, but unfortunately, the country that I live in. Well, he enrolled at the University of Tübingen in 1589 on the understanding that he would be studying theology and becoming a pastor. And this would have happened if not for a single man known as Michael, who made him really interested in astronomy and studying the stars. That's what I like studying too. In 1594, age 23, he received a letter to go to Austria to become a maths teacher instead of being a pastor, which he was supposed to after school. But unfortunately, almost nobody attended this class, which gave him a lot of time to think about astronomy, what he loved. So the world at the time believed that the sun revolved around the earth, but a man called Copernicus said otherwise, that the earth revolves around the sun, which Kepler also agreed with and spent a lot of time studying. Kepler published his ideas in 1597, where he also married his first wife. That was the time he married his first wife. His ideas brought him more enemies than friends at the time because he contradicted most people's belief and would later almost put him in trouble. But luckily, he was able to travel to Prague to meet a man called Theo Brahe to work for him, which most probably saved his life a second time. Remember the first time. So in Prague, Brahe died on October 24th, 1601. That's Kepler's boss that he went to meet. And then he inherited Brahe's private documents and also became the new imperial mathematician. Wow. These documents would help Kepler in countless future discoveries. And he did a lot of these discoveries rather unplanned. For example, he studied and explained the way light traveled through the human eye. Yes, that was him. Which was in 1604. He also made numerous discoveries in optics, which created better eyeglasses. And a few years later, came up with evidence that the Earth isn't the center of the universe in his work Astronomia Nova in 1609, which grew out of his observation of Mars movement. So one major part of his findings was that Earth moved elliptically around the sun, which most religious people around him at the time didn't want to believe. Well, anyways, because of the raw data and evidence that he used to prove his work, it was a success. But that did not create less enemies than he had before. It created more. After numerous discoveries on crystallography and how to create better telescopes, Kepler found himself searching for another home in 1612 because of, yet again, another religious tussle, which was kind of a big deal throughout his lifetime. And unfortunately, the same year, his first wife died of fever. Then, out of grace, which had been following him throughout his whole life, a city called Linz came to his rescue and made him district mathematician, provided he finished the table his dead boss, Brahe, had started, and he accepted. Well, till another catastrophe befell him. Now he was trying to save his mom from death. After a year of rigorously trying to save his mom from the gruesome accusation of witchcraft, which was a big deal at the time, Kepler succeeded in saving his mom, but 1 year was a very, very costly thing to him and his family. Kepler became broke as the city of Linz wasn't willing to sponsor him anymore. Life became tougher during this dark time of the 30-year European War and hardship. In 1626, he and his new family finally left Linz. But despite all these troubles, Kepler still achieved one last monumental feat. In 1627, after the person who requested for it and the person who started the work had died, Kepler finally released the table his boss Brahe had started, which is now named the Rudolphian tables, which were the most accurate tables for predicting the movement of planets at the time, and this was his final monumental achievement. Johannes Kepler discovered various laws in astronomy. He changed the understanding of optics at his time. He jet crystallography. He designed better telescopes and even wrote fictional stories. Persecuted for his faith, misunderstood in his lifetime, Kepler achieved numerous influential successes as a man of grace. But as everyone will, Johannes Kepler died on 15th November 1630 in the city of Regensburg. But unfortunately, the cemetery he was buried in was destroyed during the pointless 30-year European War. Thus, his body has no recorded place. Well, there you have it, guys. Episode 44 of HMIH. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you learned a thing or two. Please kindly follow us on our social media platform and drop a like, drop a comment, drop a feedback. We would really appreciate. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you guys first week of next month. Peace.